Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Hughes, and today I'd like to give my global citizen reflection on my Laidlaw Leadership in Action project from summer 2023. So, before we start, I'd like to just give a little bit of background on me. As I said, my name is Patrick Hughes. But I also stem from Durham University, where I am currently the sports rep at Trevelyan College, one of the amazing colleges and one of the many amazing colleges at Durham University. Thankfully, during my tenure there, I also managed to stumble across the Laidlaw Foundation, where I met some amazing people and had some incredible opportunities. So, at this moment in time, I'd like to give a special thank you to Lord Laidlaw himself, everyone in the network, and in particular, everyone within the Durham University branch of Laidlaw, such as Kelsey Jacoby, who's been amazing in helping organise everything. He's been a great coordinator and has just been overall fantastic in her position. So, that brings me to my time at Laidlaw. So, just before we begin talking about the Leadership in Action project, I want you just to briefly mention my research project because I believe it's very crucial in also building character and preparing you from from the gap in every year, every academic year that every student experience is. So, last year, my research was looking at the synaptic plasticity, or the way the brain reacts to stimulus, reacts to everyday um, smells, and some other non-normal stimuli such as electroshock therapy, and how we can take that in, adapt, and use it to develop memory and learning. In particular, we're looking at long-term olfactory memory in Drosophila, and not necessarily humans, but it was an amazing experience that really helped me grow as a scientist. However, I'm even though it's evident I'm very passionate about science, there is a very important notice that um, it's quite hard to build a leadership project around science, as it can take many years and even decades to really do something groundbreaking. So doing it in a 6 week time frame is not really possible. But as such, I still wanted to use my affinity for science and my um, sort of brain as the tool for the Leadership in Action project. And as such, that brought me to the Timothy Smith Network, um, a very fantastic organisation, non-profit organisation, who have amazing members of staff, such as Alexandra Brown, seen in the far um, right-hand corner with the astronaut painting, Amanda, who's right below her with myself and Thomas Williamson, another Durham Laidlaw scholar, Nona, who's in the middle, who was incredible. She's worked for NASA, and she can see she's done quite an interesting pose around me and my colleagues, other Laidlaw scholars there. And Milton, who's in the bottom left-hand corner, who I'm proud to say had a massive impact on me over the summer, and I hope to continue developing a professional relationship with him as we move forward. So, importantly, I should really explain what TSN does and who they are. Um, so, as I inferred, or you can guess, TSN looks at using science and in technology to overcome a digital divide which is very present in America. They are they are one of the central projects, and by digital divide, I mean the lack of resources that students from poorer socioeconomic backgrounds face. So importantly, they use their resources, they use their technology to teach, pay, and educate students in the world of academics, the world of technology, and the world around them itself, the professional world around them itself in Boston. And as you can tell, because of that use of technology, because of that drive to empower students, in particular, I am a student myself. I come from the north of England. I come from a place where I saw education as the way to get out of my predicament, my working class predicament. And so I think education is vital for every part of society. And so I really resonated with what they were doing. And that's why I was drawn to them and applied and was thankfully successful to get onto their central project. Another aspect of what made them so enticing was the fact that it took place in the city of Boston itself. Boston was amazing. I loved Boston wholeheartedly. It's really threw a good spanner in the works, as my mum put it. when I came home, because I was driven on one path, and now it's really opened my eyes to the world around me and helped me grow as an individual, not just a Laidlaw scholar, not just a student. It's just made me see the world as something completely different to what I thought it would be. And particularly, you can see some of the amazing sites here. There was such as the Fenway Park when we went to see a Red Sox game, Boston Public Library, the State House, Cape Cod, the Harbour, the Esplanade, and even the American flag and a wooden shack again in Cape Cod. So the city was amazing, and I'll probably reflect on this more at the end of the presentation. But if anybody is like looking for a place to go, which is new and will throw you into the world of academics, at the same time as being a place you know it's realistically accessible, then I'd heavily advertise them to go to Boston for their leadership in action project. So I guess I should say what's more details about the leader action project itself. I've reflected upon this in another post, but I was a teacher for TSM. I taught 3D modeling with my 3D modeling partner in crime, Thomas Williamson, who we saw a moment ago. And we used the software Fusion 360 to make printable products for devices that students had to make. My other partner in crime, Joel Beckles, a St. Andrews Laidlaw scholar, was a part of the same module I was on. He was teaching coding, I was teaching 3D modeling as stated, and we got students to make a health device which either improved or monitored an individual's mental or physical health. Some of the devices was incredible at the end of the program, and really showed you how students, once given the technology, once given the opportunity, they can thrive in education. And it's just the lack of that access to that technology, which can be the real inhibiting factor to people thriving in business, thriving in academics, thriving in the world. Now, that made me grow as a teacher. You know, it made me really see the value of education from someone who's progressed further than some students in the world. However, I also managed to grow as a leader because, apologize, I have to put these on mute so I can speak. Made me really grow as a leader and as an individual once again by meeting more people, learning about life experiences, managed to have the ability to be a role model to some of the students to talk about science and communicate it well, to present. As you can see here in the top corner, I spoke when I met Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. I spoke at the end of the program, as seen in another Laidlaw post, and it gave me amazing opportunities to develop as an individual, to really continue those presentation skills, which I think is so important when being a leader, being clear and concise and passing on the message that you want and making sure nothing is misunderstood. I think that's really imperative. So I guess it's now to speak about the other members of the Laidlaw Scholar, because they played the final part in my development. They were fantastic individuals. We had many people working in early hours of the morning, myself included, working in coding and designs, not always in the best clothing, a bit more well dressed than I am most of the time in Boston. And they really managed me to grow by seeing their side of their story, by seeing their experiences, their life. They hailed from all parts of the world. Joel hailed from Trinidad, Nico was from Thailand, Tom was from North Yorkshire, a northerner like myself. Alex was from Antrim in Northern Ireland. Luke was from Dublin. Princess was from London. Venus was from Indonesia. Sorry, Venus. And Ella was from Turkey. So all these amazing people from all around the world really shows you how you can develop as someone new, a new version of yourself, and realistically makes you show that you're really more of a beginner than you think you actually are. So all of this combined is what I'm trying to say is all of this combined made me grow and made me really reflect on what it's like to be someone of worth, someone of value. As this all took place in Boston, a place which was different and new, it really made me reflect on what more I can do for myself and what more I can do for the scientific community and for the next generation. And that really brings me on to my final point, which I will elaborate on this quote momentarily. But I just wanted to say that if anything, being a leadership is not one dimensional. I think being a leader, realistically, is like being a beginner at the heart. Because something I really believe in is Zen Buddhism, and it teaches you to be in a beginner's state of mind most of the time. As being a beginner, you're open to most new forms of learning, new forms of experiences, new forms of life, new sights and smells and food and culture. Whereas if you go approach it as an expert, it can be a bit more closed-minded in a manner. And I really realized that this past academic year, and I really nailed it home in the Leadership and Action project in particular by taking in everyone's opinions, the new teaching style of life, the new city. Everything was just amazing, and it really changed my perspective on how the world operates. So, if this brings me to the quote, this really encapsulates my message the most, as it's something I saw during my time in Boston, and I gave in my reflection speech. It's something I gave to the students, and it's something I give to myself on a weekly basis. It's really, I think, the instruction to life and the instruction to being a leader. It commands you to really be better than you already are, even if you are a leader. Because as I said, being a leader might be a beginner, being a leader might be a teacher, it might be being an instructor, being a scientist, being a politician. But being a leader at the end of the day is being someone who's always building on themselves, trying to be better, and therefore that's Zen Buddhist beginner. So, as a result, I'd just like to leave you with this message by William Arthur Ward and implore you to be a beginner, be a leader, and for any of the next Laidlaw scholars and the cohort, heavily consider going to the TSN and Boston. It's a fantastic experience. You'll meet people that will change your perspective on everything. So I implore you to go. They they need more help. They could use it. It will change your life. So finally, I would just like to say, please do more than belong, participate, do more than care, help, do more than believe, practice, do more than be fair, be kind, do more than forgive, forget, and do more than dream, work. Thank you once again to all the institutions that supported me, and thank you to the amazing Laidlaw scholars I worked with. Thank you.